For centuries, knowledge has been hidden in plain sight across the sands of time. Whispers of lost civilizations, cryptic symbols, and forbidden histories have been erased or concealed. What if the truth was never lost, but hidden? Welcome to Eye of Ancient Mysteries, where the past speaks and the future listens. Sit back, open your mind, and prepare to uncover the untold secrets of our world. Let the journey begin now. The Silver Ball incident. Very little is known about this incident, which is not surprising given that it occurred over the Kalahari Desert in Africa. The operation to capture and study the downed UFO was codenamed Silver Ball and classified as top secret. However, classified information eventually surfaced. On May 7, at 1340, the South African Navy frigate Tafelberg reported to base that its radar systems had detected an unidentified object moving at a speed of over 5,000 miles, as a 1 nautical mile, 1.852 km, towards the coastline. 2 Mirage fighter jets were dispatched to intercept it, led by Squadron Commander Goosen. At 1350, the object entered South African airspace. Goosen reported that the object performed a sudden maneuver that his jets could not replicate, but contact with the object was maintained. A command from the ground was issued: shoot it down. At 1359, the Mirages opened fire and scored a direct hit. The object wobbled, descended rapidly, and crashed in the Kalahari Desert about 80 km north of the Botswana border. About a month later, a doctor, Azadadella from South Africa, contacted a British UFO research organization. He reported the crash of a mysterious object in the Kalahari and volunteered to take a lie detector test. Among those aware of the incident, he named James Van Greenen, who had worked with American officials investigating the event. A week later, Van Greenen himself arrived and handed over a top-secret document printed on official South African Air Force letterhead. The report described the event under the codename Silver Ball. According to the document, on May 8, 1989, a team of Air Force officers and UFO researchers found a silver disk 18 meters in diameter, 8.5 meters tall, and weighing about 50 tons, embedded in the desert sand at a sharp angle. The impact created a crater 150 meters wide and 12 meters deep. Sand and rocks around the disk had melted as if exposed to extremely high temperatures. The team noticed that their instruments malfunctioned, likely due to intense magnetic and radioactive radiation in the area. Despite the interference, they managed to take measurements and examine the object. No seams were found on the disk's surface, but there were 12 elliptical portholes along its perimeter. The material of the disk could not be identified on site. Later analysis at the Wright Patterson Air Force Base in the USA revealed that the disk was made of magnesium with a unique crystal structure not found naturally on Earth and practically impossible to produce here. Van Greenen said the unidentified object was transported to a South African air base for further study, and the crater was filled with sand and rocks to avoid attracting attention. But the most astonishing detail came when the inspection team heard a strange scraping noise and saw a crack appear at the bottom of the disk. To their shock, two humanoid beings emerged from the opening. They were about 1.5 meters tall, wearing tight silver suits, with bluish skin, no hair, and large pupil-less eyes. Their arms reached below their knees and had 3 clawed fingers with webbing between them. The beings did not speak, but seemed to communicate non-verbally. They ignored food offered to them and showed aggressive behavior, hissing and spreading their clawed hands when approached. One of them appeared injured, likely weakened by Earth's unfamiliar atmosphere. The beings were soon subdued and transported by helicopter to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in the U.S. The researchers also found an extended telescopic landing strut and noted a symbol resembling an upward pointing arrow on the top of the disk. During the inspection, a helicopter meant to transport the beings suddenly lost engine power and crashed, killing all 5 crew members. Van Grienen revealed that all personnel at the crash site were made to sign confidentiality agreements. However, he chose to come forward, believing that concealing the event would be a betrayal of humanity. In Russia, the incident became known after an article was published in Komsomolskaya Pravda on March 22, 1990. Upon receiving this sensational information, Russian ufologists contacted South African intelligence, and several officers confirmed the authenticity of the event. Photos of the crashed object were reportedly shown, and Commander Guzin himself validated the claims. However, the story did not end there. Van Grienen returned to South Africa, and on February 27, 1990, he was executed for leaking classified information.